We have covered Golden, Colorado before, and after seeing all of your guys' interest in that video, we are actually going to dive into what it looks like now in 2023.
All right, let's go. If this is your first time watching Pete and Chelsea Sweeney, we are your Colorado real estate family, and what we like to do on this channel is cover Denver and all of its surrounding cities, giving you all that information that you need to know if you're planning on relocating into this beautiful state. Praying on, I feel like I'm like misspeaking over here a little bit. So if there's something that interests you, why don't you guys do us a favor, hit the subscribe button, maybe give us a thumbs up, little notification bell, that way you're notified every single time that we put out a brand new video.
Yes, and as much as we love making these videos for you and making your move to Colorado a reality, we love even more so helping with your real estate needs. So if you're looking for a licensed real estate agent here in Colorado, we're going to put our phone number down below. You can call or text us anytime.
The reason it's so important for us to constantly do these videos on a yearly basis is because so much is changing in all these cities in Colorado, and that could definitely be said about Golden. Just driving up here today, that you have to pay to park. The first 2 hours is free, but the fact that you had to pay to park, like we used to party in the parking lot here and like go down on the river. Now we definitely couldn't do that. It would have been like a $40 just to kind of hang out and do the barbecue and all that stuff.
Well, and not only that, we used to take the barbecue and put it on like a trailer.
Yeah.
Which is so
and barbecue
funny.
in the parking lot.
Barbecue in
How
the
do you pay
parking
for
lot?
that? It's like, do you have to take up 4 spots? And you're like, all right, I got to pay for this spot and this spot.
I don't think that would ever fly anymore. The other thing that we noticed too is, you know, there's a speed limit on the trail, and there's, you know, new waste disposal, you know, like landfill versus recycle, like all those things didn't exist. It used to be like a big old trash can, and I get that they're trying to be more conscious, but they're big changes, and they've happened over a small amount of time.
Well, and another thing we noticed too is these trees. They're cutting these trees down.
Some
like,
of the trees,
if you can see behind you, maybe we'll get some videos and get some B-roll. But there used to be these huge trees over, you know, Clear Creek, and now they're all gone.
Yeah, they're definitely trimming them, and I'm not sure why. So the reason we cover some of this is because 2023 is here. We are already seeing some massive changes from our last video.
Yep.
If you haven't seen that last video, go check it out and be able to compare then versus now. So
Yep.
let's dive into the number one thing that you must know about Golden, and that is going to be its location.
Yeah, and obviously this isn't changing. No one came in and picked Golden up and threw it somewhere else or nothing like that. So let's kind of go over it real quick for those of you who have not watched one of our other Golden videos. Golden, Colorado is pretty much, there's a few different ways to get here. So I-70, you could just take it straight out, and that goes along the south side of Golden. Or if you go I-70 out, you could take 58, and that'll take you to the north side of Golden. Actually, I guess it's more central.
Central, yeah.
But it's like towards the old town or downtown Golden. That's where you want direct access to that. So that's your main kind of ways. It's directly, Golden, Colorado in itself is straight west of Denver. So we'll kind of throw some maps up so you have a good idea, get some visuals, because I'm a little bit more visual person myself. I can't really just sit here and listen all the time.
Yeah, me too. The other thing too is if you are coming in from other cities, say you're coming from Boulder, you could take 93.
Yep.
There is a way to access from 6, say you're coming from Littleton or Lakewood. So definitely, really, access is pretty good to Golden.
Yeah.
The other thing is Golden is the city that's the closest city to the mountains for going to your ski resorts. So if you're not trying to live in the mountains, but you can, and we'll kind of get into how this is a plus and something you need to know about Golden, but if you're trying to get to the ski resorts, this is going to be an optimal space to live, to be able to explore both spaces. The other thing too, just to quickly mention for you parents out there, if you're looking into what kind of schools are in Golden, it is actually Jefferson County.
I think it's R1.
Yeah,
is it R1?
Yeah. And they are rated an A- on niche.com. So overall, very good school system, even over here in Golden, kind of in the foothills.
Now we're going to dive into the second thing. If you haven't noticed, we had to strip off some layers. Some joke that we always say is here in Colorado, you must layer up, because you'll be wearing, you know, a parka jacket in the morning, and then come 11 o'clock, you're stripping stuff off, just like we just had to. So, all right, cool. Let's kind of dive into the second thing. The second thing being is the fact that Golden is pretty much your mountain town with the city convenience. I think Golden is actually one of the best examples of this. If you want to have that mountain town lifestyle, but not live in the mountains, that is Golden, Colorado. It's like in a valley. We'll kind of show some video of it, but it's in a valley. And then also like on the south side, you have that direct access over to the ski resorts, which we kind of mentioned when talking about the location.
Yeah, the other thing too is because of what Golden is like, it does attract certain type of people. So like what kind of people gravitate towards Golden? You're gonna see a lot of retirees, you're gonna see a lot of outdoor enthusiasts. Obviously the School of Mine is here, so you're gonna see some of the, you know, the student life. And also Golden gets 170,000 visitors per year because of its historic atmosphere, it's cultural,
Yep.
like, I mean, it's incredible. And so it attracts a lot of people. So we do see a lot of tourism as well.
So coming back into those conveniences, most of the conveniences when we were talking about, like, you know, your box stores, your main highway systems that kind of go through and all that stuff, that's going to be on the south side of Golden. That's actually the newer portion of Golden. And there are some newer new builds that are happening on the north side of Golden, but there's not as many conveniences over there. You'd have to bump up to Arvada in order to get those box stores that we're kind of talking about, or your primary grocery stores, right? So in like Old Town, you do have a little bit more mom and pop style restaurants and grocery stores. They do have, I believe, a King Soopers over there, which is our Kroger here in Colorado. So they do have that, but those conveniences we're talking about are going to be more on the south side of Golden. Before diving into the third one, if you guys are some of our faithful listeners who have seen our other Golden videos, this might seem a little redundant. So I highly recommend that you stick out to the end, because Chelsea's going to be covering the true changes that we're seeing for Golden in 2023. So let's go and dive into the third one, that being real estate. We're going to talk about real estate, and this obviously constantly changes, especially with the market kind of going a little bit more down. Hasn't been as up as it was, say, in the beginning of 2022. So if we're looking at your median sales price on single family homes, you're looking at a median sales price of $875, and if my memory serves me correctly, I think it was closer to $8 this time last year.
Yeah.
So it's went up over almost $100,000. We've constantly compared Golden to Boulder just because the median sales prices are so much higher. So how much higher is that year over year? You're looking at 11.3% from 2022 to 2023.
Yeah, that's crazy. We are constantly talking about how Golden has changed, and it's looking more and more like Boulder every single day.
Yeah, it does for sure. Now that was your single family. Let's go in and cover your multifamily. We're talking about townhouses, condos, and row homes. You're looking at a median sales price of $411,000 and let's just say 412, okay? So we'll say $412,000 median sales price, which is actually up 4.3% year over year.
One thing that makes people gravitate towards Golden is that they really do have every style of housing. So you're going to get your urban living in the like kind of the heart of Old Town. You do have the historic homes that kind of surround all of Old Town Golden. In the foothills, you'll start seeing some of that newer development kind of neighborhoods,
the affluent,
suburbia.
a little bit more affluent areas. Like there's some crazy beautiful houses up on the hill just above us, like southwest of downtown Golden.
Yeah, if you're looking for luxury, you're going to be surrounding that Lookout Mountain kind of area where you're getting those custom beautiful homes. And then also, the further away you get from kind of the hub of Golden, you're going to get kind of in those outskirts, and those are going to be great starter homes starting in the 400s, and kind of, you know, something if you're looking for a first-time home buyer and you want to get into a nice area, there's still options on the outskirts of Golden.
I don't know if you guys can see this, but the wind is kind of shaking me back and forth.
You can probably see my hair.
Usually our camera's pretty good about, you know, kind of taking that out a little bit, but I don't know what the deal's been. It's been so windy. Every time we try and record, we're sitting here trying to hold the camera. Good thing we got something on our mic, but hopefully it's not messing with you guys too much.
Like
so
this.
we'll do what we can to kind of take that shaking away from the video.
Okay, so let's get into the fourth thing that you need to know about Golden, and that is going to be all of the things to do in Golden. Like, there is not one thing that you cannot find in Golden, Colorado.
The most obvious thing that Golden's known for is all of our outdoor enthusiasts, right? So all the outdoor activities. But let me dive into something prior to that. Let's talk about your Old Town or downtown Golden. That's where they held so many events. They just had the Golden and Golden event where it was like a dog event. The big event that they really do down here is Buffalo Bill Days. It's a huge event. They have parades. You know, they have the fire trucks going through, throwing the candy all out to all the kids. But downtown Golden, it seems like they're always doing an event down there. Now let's talk about your outdoor enthusiasts. Last time we were out here recording, there was actually paragliders who were like going all over our heads, and it was crazy cold, but
it was like snowing on us.
I couldn't believe it. I mean, we were cold down on the ground. I can only imagine how cold they were up there. They had to have had some heated suits or something. I don't know.
Something.
So then also the other outdoor activities that you got here, you got mountain biking, you got kayaking and rafting that goes on the Clear Creek River that's right behind you right now. If I were to turn you around, you'd see it right there. You have all kinds of, everyone's of course doing their running along the trail. Another thing too is the school minds games, which is pretty fun.
Yeah.
We have a relative who was playing softball for another school here, and she's competing against School Minds. I had never been to a college softball game here in Colorado, or I guess at School Minds. It was super cool to watch. You have a great field over here. All kinds of different things you could do in regards to outdoor activities.
Yeah, and for you parents out there, there's still so many things outside to do with the kids as well. So you can go over to Dinosaur Ridge, which is going to be, 100 million-year-old fossils as you hike with the kiddos. You could take them over to the aquatic park where you have, slides and pools. And then for any of you, theater and cultural enthusiasts, we have the Miners Alley Playhouse where there's all kinds of performances and theater. I mean, there's so many things. Oh, the railroad.
The Railroad Museum. And I remember going there as a kid. I mean, it's cool, right? It's cool seeing like all the old the old engines and all the good stuff from the railroad. But at the same time, it's like maybe they did some other stuff to make it a little bit more fun. I don't know.
I think some people. I'm
I'm also an adrenaline junkie, so I'm like,
that's exactly
oh, cool. You know, here's the train. Oh, there's a train. I'd rather go out and do something crazy. So
that's why I was so excited about the paragliders and not so much about the museum. But for those of you who enjoy the museum and going to take the kids that they love the trains, the other thing in Colorado is you could take a train places, and so it's cool to be able to like go to the museum and then go hop on a train with a kid.
Yeah, go up to like Georgetown or something like that.
Yeah, it's like a good learning experience, even though it's not falling from the sky. Okay, let's get into what you've been waiting for if you stuck around this long, and that is what's going to happen with Golden, what's changing, you know, what's in the development plans here between 2023 and 2030. So of course I have to bring my notes into this for you guys because I dove in. I'm so dorky when it comes to development. Like, I love it. I like looking at the city plans. I like looking at their goals. I get excited for anybody who lives in the city. So with Golden, anytime you have city development, you can always go on the city website, but if you want a direct link to this that we're going to be going over right now, please comment down below and we'll make sure we throw the whole, it's 52 pages, okay?
Well, I know recently, like when you guys asked for the resource in regards to Thornton and how they're developing the southern side of Thornton, we're glad that we were able to get that resource over to you. But if you guys are ever wanting a link to one of these resources that we constantly cite, just let us know, comment down below, and we will make sure to send it over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Golden, they call it the Golden Vision 2030. So it illustrates, it actually started, I think, in 2018. They have 1 to 2 year plans, 2 to 4 year plans, and then the 5 to 10 year plans taking us all the way to 2030. And a lot of the things that they have kind of illustrated in that, they have already done such a great job in following through, which is another good thing to look at the city as, you know, based off of their city plans. Are they doing those things? Are those things developing in a timely manner? So far, so good over here in Golden. Things are developing and it's going really well. So what I like to do is look at when I'm buying into a new area, what the equity of our home is going to look like, what's the development of the city. So here they're going to be looking at different zoning. How do they collaborate or I guess transition from the city, like the old town of Golden, into a residential space, make that seamless and also like the most safe and accessible you know, city that they can have. So everything that I've read is built around this whole transition from urban to residential, having it be accessible with walkability or trails, and then also preserving its huge historic, you know, reputation. I mean, that's what Golden is all about.
Oh yeah.
And so that, if you look through all the plans, and I won't go bore you with 52 pages of what it's going to look like, but that every time that they're looking at one of these things, they're looking at the different areas and they're tying it back into that big vision. So go look at it. Depending on where you're buying, it'll break it into different parts of the neighborhoods, and then what the goal is to intertwine with the neighborhoods, you know, surrounding it, and how to bring that into safe trails, better transportation, better walkability, and they have some big plans. So go check it out, because if you're moving into this area, this is not only going to increase your equity, but also your quality of living. Okay, so that was a lot, but I get so pumped up about watching these cities grow, especially when they're planning for the growth that we're seeing here in Colorado. If you have any other questions around that, feel free to reach out, or if there's any other topics you want us to cover about Golden, please let us know, because we do these videos for you.
And of course, guys, we're going to throw a phone number below one more time. There you go. Give us a call, give us a text if you are looking at purchasing real estate in the state of Colorado. It doesn't matter date or time. We are there to answer all your calls. And until next time, we love you. Bye.
Bye. You said park, you didn't say pay. You have to park, you have to park. I'm like,
I didn't say pay to park? The reason it's so important for us to do these videos, and I think this is, what am I trying to say? Before we dive into the third one, I mean, if this is your dog event, the big, we are there to answer. It doesn't matter whether it's day, night, or...
That's the only time.
Yeah. I am just, yep. No.
Nope.
Doesn't matter day or time, okay.
Yeah.